Hello everyone, welcome to Voices of Media. It's great to meet you all. This is the second episode of my podcast series, and I'm Het Wing, a senior at Swinburne University, majoring in media and communication. The motivation behind the series comes from seeing many of my friends struggle to choose their right career path, and that's how the Voices of Media was born. In each episode, I will invite different guest speakers from the media industry to share their real life experiences. And I hope this will give you all a clearer view of the various media positions that you might want to pursue. Okay, so let's start our second episode. Today, our special guest will give us a deep dive into the world of journalism, and let's see who she is. Thank you so much for joining us. Can you please introduce a little bit about yourself?
Hi Wing, my name is Nhi and I'm a third year student of Swinburne University, majoring in social media. And last year in August 2023, I have a 3-month internship program at Thuning News organization.
Let's come to our first question. So, what inspired you to pursue a career in journalism?
When I was a kid, I usually watched news on televisions, and I was inspired by journalists when they working in some bad conditions such as bad weather or war, but they are still really super professional. So I want to try working in journalism field. I find and get an internship at Thuning News organization right after the university sent me an email of journalist internship position at Thuning News.
Well, I think we have quite the opposite perspective. When I see the difficulties of being a journalist, I can honestly say it's too tough for me to consider the journalist as my career path. So, what does a typical day of a typical day of a journalist look like? Is it the same as what you have known since you were a kid?
To describe a day as a journalist, I start a day by having the ideas for article from the day before, planning everything relating to the topic such as devices, location, scripts, and then I go to the workplace. It could be the Thuning newspaper office or the place you need to take the article. Then I start the process of recording, interviewing, writing script, and then wait for the directors to check, and then I start to editing the video, publish it on the website of Thuning News, and wait for my audiences.
Wow, so many things to do, but interesting, right? Because the tasks are quite diverse. Do you think what are the key skills that people need to master if they want to enter the journalism?
To answer the question that key skills they need to master the journalism field, first of all, I think you should understand the characteristics of the newspaper office and the department that you are working for. For example, entertainment, social news, education, or economics department. Second one is professional ethics. It is super important because media plays a vital role in delivering messages to audience and readers. So shooting and writing skills can be learned during the internship program, but ethics should be ensured before entering this field. The third one is enthusiasm, and I think you need to really love this career because journalism is a really hard job, and health is also important because working as a journalist you have to move a lot, and maybe they have to overtime and overtask to publish the news on time.
So, what are some of the biggest challenges that you face in your role? I have just popped up some in my mind that the challenges could be the deadlines, the verifying sorts, or dealing with the sensitive topics.
The biggest challenges for me and also the beginners as a journalist that they might face is finding the topics, I think, because the topics must be interesting and also meet the ethics principles at the same time. I think it is especially a challenge for journalists in entertainment department, and those who are introverts may find recording in public a little bit strange, but I believe you will overcome it if you have the desire in your journalist road.
Wow, it seems that becoming a journalist requires not only strong professional knowledge of the industry, but also a range of other skills and attributes, such as the adaptability, ethical integrity, and the ability to handle the pressure, as you say. That's truly impressive. Can you please tell us a memorable story when you work at Báo Thanh niên?
I have such a memorable story when I work at Funding News organization. Once I have an article about a new night market in Ho Chi Minh City. However, when I arrived, the construction had not been completed. It was really messy and no one visited except the vendors. So I cannot say that this place attract a lot of people, while the reality is controversy. For the second time, it rained heavily and I had to come back home. The third try, it was successful. I can interview a lot of people and receive gifts from the local vendors, and this is the first and also the highest viewed of my articles that I have published at the internship program.
Sounds interesting. And there's one thing that I'm very curious about. As we all know, Báo Thanh niên is one of the top newspaper offices in Vietnam. So to maintain the top position in the industry, Báo Thanh niên must be always reliable and grasp the situation quickly. So can you tell us how you all stay current with the latest news and trends in the journalism?
To stay current with the latest news and trends in journalism, this is a hard skill that you need to work for a long time. 3 months of internship is not enough, I guess. And at the end of every week, the Funding News organization have a meeting with all of the directors, journalists, editors to have a plan of articles and topics for the next week. However, when something occurs that you cannot control, for example, accidents, the journalists must arrive and make the whole news on time. So you can understand that the whole process takes about 1 or 2 days now must be done within an hour. And this is the highest pressure that I have faced during the internship as a journalist.
And after a long time working as a journalist, all things considered, is real work different from your expectation at first?
The real work is totally different from my first expectation. I have heard from the seniors that nowadays journalism is quite easier for youngsters than in the past because we have more devices, more experience from the seniors, and also the viewpoints of audiences are now totally different. Before, I thought that journalism must be extremely serious and strictly follow rules. However, during the internship, I realized that we should follow rules, but in a much more interesting way. So the audience may find our articles excited and they try to read it.
Yeah, I agree. We are Gen Z, and that's our extinction. The next question is, how can students apply the knowledge learned at Swinburne into the journalisms?
This is an interesting question. According to my own experience, I think Swinburne students can apply skills that they have learned from units through, like recording and shooting, and also the critical thinking skill from Global Citizen Program to have more interesting theses in their articles. And you know that media and communication in Swinburne is more researching than practical, but you can apply things that you have learned from core units about ethics into your work to make sure that your articles meets the principles.
I think that could be really useful for the Swindlers, as they usually do not clearly know how to combine the theoretical and the practical knowledge. Okay, this is the last question. For those who want to apply in Báo Thanh niên, how's your workplace? Is it a good working environment, and why do you think so?
Actually, I can say that Sunning News organization is the best organization that I have ever been to. Before, I thought that those who are working in journalism are extremely serious, and I was really nervous and confused whether a Gen Z like me can get into this place, such as my fashion style or communication style. However, it turned out really amazing. The seniors here are kind and help me a lot. The generation gap between us is shortened through office events or just some short conversation during break time or our lunch. And now I still keep the connection with my supervisor and the seniors there. I really love and respect them, and I feel grateful for their support during my internship program.
Thank you for all your insights, Mẫn Nhi. On behalf of my audience, I wish you success and luck in your career. If anyone has more questions, feel free to contact me, and I'm really happy to connect you with Mẫn Nhi for more information. And that's all for our second episode of Voices of Media, and I hope you all find useful and inspiring. Goodbye for now, and see you in the next episode.